Congressman Thompson and the people who trained him. I was trained by Bill Lucy and Norm Hill. I spent my early 20s stumping against NAFTA, and I'm proud of the unity in this room and the unity in our party and the unity between Mr. Sanders and Secretary Clinton in their opposition to the TPP. And let me be very clear. We are facing something in all my years campaigning against bad trade agreements we have never seen before, which is a Republican opponent who intends to run clearly against the TPP. We have it on good authority that the draft GOP platform speaks clearly against the TPP. And we must empower every representative of the Democratic Party to speak clearly against the TPP. We have the unity in this room against the TPP that we have because we know that we cannot afford for the Detroit auto parts industry to go the way of the Southern textile industry.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
We have the unity that we have in this room against the TPP because we know that we cannot afford for Vietnam and all the other countries in the TPP to finish the job that NAFTA started in destroying manufacturing in the United States. We are Democrats first and foremost because we believe in the power of organizing and uplifting regular people to improve the destinies for their families. And in order to do that, in order to empower every Democratic organizer across this country this fall, we must empower them to say clearly the Democratic Party, through its platform, is on record as being opposed to the Trans-Pacific Partnership.
Yes! 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 Yes!
Even when my brothers and sisters who I love so much from the labor movement would support a candidate who wasn't clear about TPP in the way in which Bernie Sanders was. We want unity, but we want it real. We don't want it on the backs of working people. We want opposition of TPP in this platform.
Yes.
One minute left. You got another?
Yeah.
I just want you to know this morning that it doesn't take all that just to say we are against the TPP. Just plain and simple. We need to leave no doubt that Democrats stand up for the working men and women in this country and their babies and their children. Just plain and simple, leave no doubt that we are against the TPP. And to my sisters and brothers that live in Midwestern states who know clearly what NAFTA did to working class women and men in our states in particular, we need to leave no doubt that we stand up for the everyday mamas and daddies in this country. Leave no doubt that we stand up for the everyday mamas and daddies. Leave no doubt that we continue to stand up for women's rights in this country. Oh no on TPP.
Ladies, let's have some order. Pursuant to an agreement already reached, the opponents of Ben's offered amendment to the amendment now have 5 minutes to speak in opposition. Pursuant to agreement. And the clock begins now.
Well, let me say this.
I think that all of you saw this when both parties came up, because we are friends. We know each other very well. But I want to make it real clear that the trade union movement does not take a back seat to anybody, regardless its outlook.
Then support the language.
We have stood up constantly, fighting our enemies and sometimes our friends, because we understand how this hurts working families and how it hurts our communities. I would urge you to look once again at my amendment, because everything that these sisters and brothers said is included in my amendment. So I would urge you to support my amendment and not support the amendment provided by Ben. Thank you very much.
Good morning, sisters and brothers. I stand in front of you not as someone that's dressed and not aware of what it is to be a worker. I am that. I come out of the textile workers industry. I know what NAFTA was all about. I know how a bad agreement can impact workers because I am a worker who has been affected in that manner. But I also heard what the Saunders amendment said. And it said that we needed a platform in order to make things transparent. It also said that we needed a platform that would make people accountable. It also said that we were fighting for things to be fair to American workers and to make sure that jobs in America were not going to be taken away from here. We have an obligation to make sure that what we stand on is unified and inclusive. When we read what Lee Saunders proposed, you see that it's all there. We are talking about what we need
TTP.
in order to make it strong, not what we stand against. Because it is clear what we stand against. We have been there. I have not worked in a textile plant for all those years to say that we don't have a voice. We have a voice. We have a voice. We know what we're doing.
Then include the words no TPP.
Who created NAFTA? Quiet.
My name is David Worley. My name is David Worley from Georgia. My hometown lost thousands of textile jobs. I spent years, 25 years ago, running for Congress talking about these issues, running against a Republican incumbent, losing by 900 votes to a guy named Newt Gingrich. I've spent 25 years since holding corporations accountable. I don't take a backseat to anyone, even my freshman philosophy professor at Cornell West, when it comes to standing up for fair trade. But I'm asking you to vote no on the Jealous Amendment. The Saunders Amendment is a remarkable achievement. Anyone who's been involved in
It does not say no TPP.
It sets a standard that TPP will not meet, that other trade deals will not meet. We have to vote for the Saunders Amendment. I urge you to vote against the Jealous Amendment. 1 minute left.
My name is Kevin Williamson. I'm with the United Food and Commercial Workers Union, who represents over 1.3 million members in the United States. The Democratic platform is meant to be aspirational. It is meant to guide us towards what we want our government to do, what we want our nation to be, a roadmap for how we apply our principles and values through governance. UFCW opposes TPP. UFCW opposes TPP. This trade deal harms American workers and all who we represent. That is why UFCW supports the Saunders Amendment, which lays out the terms we insist must be met before any trade agreement can be considered fair. I oppose the Jellius Agreement because it is too narrow. TPP is only one of many trade agreements. Only new. That does not live up to its promise in protecting and improving the lives of American workers. I encourage everyone here to think bigger than the opposition to TPP, which will share. Thank you.
Thank you. Paul, you have a question?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a point of clarification. I was adding, not replacing. And vote to add. This is why we oppose the TPP, because we do.
Yes. Our opponents will return to their stations to vote. We're going to prepare to have a roll call vote. That is a 60-second vote. Rather than doing it twice, we're just going to go correct.
Now that we know our names.
That's what is before you.
Roll call vote.
Please set up the 60-second clock. Don't vote, please, until I ask you to.
This is of the secondary amendment, right? We're supposed to vote for.
For the addition of
Green, yes.
We have the clock set up. Okay, here we go. You may vote. If you are in favor of the Jellius Amendment, vote yes. If you're against the Jellius Amendment, vote no. You understand? Let's vote. The clock is running.
I'm the ranking member on finance. Yeah. I know the medicine. Being investigated.
Can it be abstaining? They won't include the language. 73-102 right now with 73, that's us. We are voting for it, 73 of us, and 105 are voting against us.
15 seconds.
It's not needed. So why are you so passionate about it? It's not needed. You just walk. I'm sorry, you're owned by the financial industry, and you're telling us it's not needed.
The amendment fails. These Saunders opponents are now given 8 minutes if they wish to use that time. Clock starts now.
My name is Heather Godney, and I am from Bernie Sanders' home state of Vermont. The message that we need to say what we're for, and I agree with that, but in this case, I think we really need to say what we're against. One of the things that I'd like to highlight about the TPP is why this is bad for women. I think that's a really relevant thing to be talking about right now. The TPP is a race to the bottom for women making minimum wage. If Congress passes the TPP, Americans will be forced to compete directly with Vietnamese workers making less than 65 cents an hour. Women, especially women of color, are disproportionately affected by downward pressure on wages. Women make up nearly 2/3 of minimum wage workers. Trade agreements tend to discourage unionization and increase competition with international workers, which in turn erodes wages and worsens working conditions here at home and globally. It's also terrible for women's health. During TPP negotiations, Big Pharma pushed for extreme monopolies. Healthcare advocates like Doctors Without Borders have raised serious concerns about its effects on access to medicines. Drug companies have been allowed to add stipulations to the agreement that will increase the length of patents and other related protections. The TPP would be a death sentence for many cancer patients, including women with breast and cervical cancer, by keeping life-saving medicines out of reach due to exorbitant monopoly pricing. Women treating aggressive breast cancer or cervical cancer do not have the luxury of waiting 5 to 8 years for access to affordable medicines. By pushing up drug prices, the TPP could impact Medicaid, which also has a big impact on women and families. Thank you.
My name is Christine Kramer. I'm from the state of Nevada. I am against the Saunders Amendment because the very last line is shown highlighted. States, including the Trans-Pacific Partnership. This opens it wide open for a Franken bill. This opens it wide open for a lame duck Congress to vote in support of TPP. Let's fight this. Enforcement, promising enforcement was not enough. NAFTA destroyed our communities, not following the rules. We never funded enough cops on the beat to enforce against corporate America. We need strong, firm language. Vote no on this because we need the Hightower Amendment that says hell no.
Yes, so we have another amendment coming.
My name is Carly Stevenson. I'm from Indiana. I live on the west side of Indianapolis where the Carrier air conditioning plant is, which is going to be closed next year, and 1,300 jobs are going to be shipped to Mexico as a result of agreements like NAFTA and like the Trans-Pacific Partnership. I want to speak directly to my fellow platform members from industrial states. We all have to go home tomorrow and face our neighbors and tell them what we did to protect their jobs. And the best way to do that, to leave no doubt that we support working people, that we support the people working in manufacturing in our states, is to say clearly that the Democratic Party opposes the Trans-Pacific Partnership. With the greatest respect, I am opposed to this amendment, and I am in favor of the Hightower Amendment, which sets a strong, aspirational standard that the Democratic Party takes a backseat to no one on fair trade and opposes the Trans-Pacific Partnership with no exceptions. Thank you.
Yes.
My name is Robert Craig from the great state of Wisconsin, where we lost 135,000 jobs to global trade agreements. So the people of America think the economy is rigged against them, and you know what? They're right. And quite frankly, we've had no speech here in favor of TPP, but we can't bring ourselves to say we're against TPP. Against TPP and for a positive view of what we should do with our economy, to re-rig it for the middle class and for working people. Thank you.
From New Mexico, Obama. I cannot support this. He's done a wonderful job, amazing job in the wake of the recent economic crisis. But this is a point I simply cannot support. I'm supporting the Hightower Amendment. We talk about party unity. The overwhelming majority of Congress and American citizens oppose the TPP, including Secretary Clinton. We agree on this. It is our responsibility to represent the will of the people. This platform serves to continue to move the Democratic Party into the future without dangerous trade deals that jeopardize American jobs, environmental safety, and open the U.S. up to lawsuits from corporations, effectively ending our sovereignty. We agree. Why can we not simply say, we don't want it? No, all we're saying is we oppose the TPP. You're telling us you oppose the TPP. All we have to do is say it. Say it!
Yes! Say it!
Yes, I just want to thank my brothers and sisters here who let me stand in front of them even after they stood in line. They let me do that because they want to be clear that all of the Saunders delegates, all of the Sanders delegates are prepared to support the Saunders amendment if the Clinton delegates would just accept my amendment to the amendment.
Right.
In my life, I have supported the Clintons and I have supported Sanders, and the reality is that we are here to act courageously for the unity of our party. And the way that we unify our party is that we vote our Congress. conscience. The majority of Democrats, like the majority of Americans, are against the TPP. Hillary is against the TPP. Bernie is against the TPP. Let's not be bureaucrats. Let's be leaders. All we have to do, brothers and sisters, is come together. And you know what? Coming together always requires effort from both sides. So let's just add as a friendly. That's why we support the TPP. Unify and get on with beating Trump. Thank you.
I'm designated counsel for a division of the International Teamsters Union. I also organized 8,000 volunteers in Missouri for Bernie Sanders' campaign, and I'm in touch with a lot of people, young people, progressives across the country. And I want nothing more than to defeat Donald Trump this November. And we need a strong support nationwide for Hillary Clinton to do that. What I'm afraid is going to happen here, because I have lots of friends in this room that are supporting Hillary Clinton. And what I'm afraid is going to happen here is that you guys are going to win the battle here this morning, but lose the war. So if I can just get 10 more seconds. We have an opportunity here today, and I know the campaign, the Hillary people, you're very organized and you have your marching orders. We have an opportunity here today to be able to stand up, hug the people sitting next to you, Sanders people, Clinton people coming together, leave this room united.
They're on a Slack channel being told how to vote.
So I hope you'll do that. Thank you.
Thank you. The opponents will return to their stations. Please, we'll prepare a vote. Please set it up. Please don't vote until I ask you to. We are going to vote on the Sanders amendment. Saunders, excuse me. I apologize. So we're going to vote on the Saunders agreement. All right, and we're going to go to a vote. Please begin voting now. Yes is for the amendment. No is against the amendment. Please.
Where's our people?
Got a good debate.
Send that to
15 seconds.
Sanders red.
5 seconds.
Where's our people?
The vote is complete. The amendment passes. But we're going to be back in 5 minutes. Thank you.
Yeah, we need a break.